Today we're finally reviewing our Pico folding camping chairs. Why? Because many of you have asked us a lot of questions. The main question we get, how hard is it to set up and tear down? Well, it's ready to store. We'll fold this over the little Velcro and we sit it in the back of the van. Put my foot here, pull it straight down, flip it over. It's done. And you're sitting down and resting. Pico chairs. You guys have asked us, do we still like them? Should you buy some? Today we're going to answer those questions through the GCI Pico folding camping chairs. They're $120 each on Amazon still today. We bought them 2 years ago and we still use them on each camping trip, even though they take up a little bit of room in our Revel. So why did we buy these instead of other chairs? Well, let me show you. Back support. The way these are made, when you sit down in them, they don't collapse around you like other camping chairs. So when you sit down, you have a very comfortable flat surface on your back that supports your back. And that's really cool, and it really makes a difference when you're sitting out. Another thing that's really cool about these chairs, the way they're made, they're extremely sturdy, even on uneven ground. So once you get them deployed, you can sit down in them with confidence. Another thing that both of us love, these armrests. I know it's an old person thing, but having an armrest in a chair, well, it just makes it more comfortable. If you look at my legs, I have a perfect sitting position. They're at just the right height. And this is a camping chair, so you can deploy it and take it anywhere. This one's a little low. As you get older, it's harder to get in and out of things like this. So this one being at this right height, well, it makes it work. And because we have armrests, it's easy to sit up and it's easy to sit down. And they're so sturdy that you do it with confidence. Especially for me, I can put my iPad on my lap. I've got armrests. I can sit here and type, and I can work on videos and other things for a long period of time out here, and I'm comfortable. The bottom, your buttocks area, has a mesh area, and the back has a mesh. This one has mesh all up and down. Now you'd think this is a great thing, and in the summertime, like right now it's almost 100 degrees, that mesh is a welcome addition to this chair, and it's held up well on this one. But in the wintertime, when temperatures get down into the 20s and you're sitting outside around a fire, what we'll do is we have a camping blanket we keep with us, and we'll both put one of those over this mesh because you don't want that air to be hitting your back during that time. There are a few things we would change. Just because you want to sit up doesn't mean there aren't times when you want to do this. There are times when you just want to slouch, spread out, and just, well, enjoy being at a campsite. You can do that in this one. You cannot in this one. You can slide to where you're almost off, but the way these support arms work, eventually one of your body parts is going to get tired of sitting this way. So we found the only real comfortable way to sit in this chair is just to do this. Sit the way it's intended. So 2 years here in the Pico chairs, what do we think? How have they held up? Well, endurance-wise, they've held up flawlessly. The material's still good. It still sits the way it should. It is a little more difficult to deploy each time, but that's because we get sand and grit in the part that slides together. But I gotta say, 2 years, the amount of money we spent for it, it really has held up, and we're both happy with these chairs. Okay, so many of you ask us, should you buy these? Well, I'm gonna tell you it depends. It depends on your budget, and it depends on how you like to sit when you're at a campsite. If you like to slouch more than you like to sit up and have support, I would buy something like this or the click chair. If you like and you need back support, it's worth the $120 or $130, depending on what they cost right now for you to get this chair. Another thing you need to consider is, do you have the space? These don't fold up as small as this LL Bean chair, so if you don't have the space in your RV, then, well, go for something that fits. But for us, even though we don't really have the space, we've made the space because we love the support. And if you have any questions about them at all, just leave us a comment and let us know, and we'll be glad to help you. So before we got the Pico chairs, here's what we had instead. We were on a trip to Maine. We went by LL Bean, which if you're ever there, that's a really cool store to go to. and we found these really lightweight folding chairs. We've had them for almost 5 years now, and they're comfortable, but they don't provide as much support as the Pico chair. So this ends up being a better chair to sit in and work in and just about everything in, with the exception of this takes up less space and it costs less money. I want to also say that just because I'm telling you this is what we buy, don't be influenced by people that are trying to influence you. We're just here to help you try to figure out what makes the most sense and what the options are. You need to make the decision. Don't ever buy anything because we tell you that it's a good deal. Figure out which style of chair fits you best. Figure out how much space you've got to store them, and then get the one that makes the most sense to both you and your space. You know, all of us are different human beings, and all of us like to travel in different ways. Some of us like to never even sit down at all. Some people like to sit down quite often. And how you travel, you're the only one that knows that. So I want to be able to help you buy something that makes sense, but don't count on what I'm buying making sense for you. Let it be just another tool you use to research what will work in your particular situation. And Lynn and I hope that that really helps. And if it does, we hope you'll give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed and you like honest reviews like this, then we hope you'll think about subscribing and joining the family here. And I'm going to sit back here in the shade and just relax a little bit, because the next thing I've got to do is sit here with my iPad and edit this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. We hope we see you down the road, and we'll pull up our Pico chairs next to you and we'll relax. See you later. If you watch this far, you probably want to know, how hard is it to set up and tear down? Well, it's ready to store. We'll fold this over the little Velcro and we sit it in the back of the van. How quickly does it deploy? Well, what I've learned to do is turn it upside down, put my foot here, pull it straight down, flip it over. It's done. And you're sitting down and resting. Now hang on, I'll show you what it takes to tear down the little LL Bean chair as well. The way this one's made, there are 4 little extensions that hold this cloth material in place. Take it apart, pull that, pull this. Then you do the process of folding it up, which means you need to take each one of these out. That's not hard, but it is a pain. Let's see, I didn't do this one. Do this. I'm already driving it. That's the other chair. And now you're folding it together. Now, I haven't used these in a long time, so I'm not as good as I used to be. But you can tell from everything I'm doing here that there's just no way that I want to do that every single time. And then you fold this up and you fold it around it and you put it in the bag. See how small that folds up though. So I folded this one up and put it in the bag so you can get a little bit of a feel for how this works. And you know, you can throw it over your shoulder and you can go to the beach. Lynn and I recently took these with us to a concert to go see Ray Wiley Hubbard, sitting out in the rain in these chairs. Am I gonna make it? Finger dancing.